Hey y'all, I'm driving again to my shift. I have another 6 p.m. to 10, and I thought we could have a chat. We could have a chat. Yeah, I had another nice training today. I did another 2-hour training, and man, like my arms are killing me. It took me like 35 seconds to take off my shirt and put it on. But it feels incredibly nice and it feels incredibly good. And I don't know, I also keep eating like a lot of good food and healthy food, and it's very nice. But I thought we could talk about something today that happened and I kind of wanted to help you guys with, because I feel like it's good to know. So basically how to try, which is very hard nowadays, try to don't get scammed online. So let's talk a little bit about all the possible scams. So the thing that happened today that kind of triggered me to talk about it is that I had someone hit me up on Twitter, on X I guess it's called now. My X is Jesus69420, by the way, and the address is @TechVerseTrends. And also the YouTube channel is TechVerseTrends if you guys want to check it out. That's where I upload all these Twitch streams as well, because I'm so dumb that I started streaming and I didn't even know that unless you're a partner they delete them after a little bit. So I put some art on chain that was linking to the stream, and of course the stream went offline and I was shit out of luck, but I back everything up on YouTube, just like because I was like, I might as well post it on YouTube. But anyway, let's talk about the scam. So today what happened is that I had someone hit me up on X asking if I wanted to help with a project, and the interesting thing is that it was like a very plausible pitch and whatnot. And it was also an account that was being followed by a few people that I know, like I know from events in real life. And the thing that made me understand, beside the verbiage, because he said, oh, I want to talk to you about a project, and then basically was trying to pitch me some Bitcoin investment bullshit, and it was iffy, right? So that kind of prompted me to look better on his profile. And a lot of times what happens is that they basically clone the profile of someone. So like they scrape all the pictures, all the posts, and they repost the same exact stuff on this dummy account. And you can tell by a few clues, so I wanted to cover those with you. Clue number one, really check the like the name, like the actual Twitter or X address of this person, because what they do is that they copy the name of somebody who has a reputable reputation, like they have good reputation, but there is always like a letter that is different, right? And that is a common technique that I'm gonna cover later on, even for other things. So always double check that the person you're talking with is actually the person that you're thinking you're talking with. And they're very smart, because there are special characters in your keyboard that they look like an E but is a number, or they look like a 3 but is something else. So be sure that you really double check really well that the person you're talking with is actually the person that you think you're talking with. And that's a really common type of scam. And overall, I want to say there are two topics of scam. Like most of the scams are about romance or sex, and the others are about money. So the best way to protect yourself from scamming is to don't be a horn dog and to don't be greedy, which again goes back to the Bible, right? You don't want to last and you don't want to be greedy, because most of the scams is either people telling you, oh, do you want to see my dirty pictures, or I really like you, blah blah blah, and they start talking to you, or is people that pitches you like some sort of magical investment that is gonna make you so much money and you're gonna become incredibly rich, and they discover this incredible thing. Now, I'm sure you're very good looking, but basically no woman is gonna hit you up asking, hey, do you wanna see naked pictures of me or some shit like that. Like, it just doesn't happen. It's not how the world works, right? Oh, I'm Italian, but I live in the States and I'm going to work. I'm going to Target. You see my name tag? Target is like a department store, and I sell clothes and basically everything from food to clothes and all that, but I would be in the style department. Going back to scamming, like, remember, they try to entice you with sex, or they try to entice you with money. Guess what? Nobody looks for random sex, texting random people on social media. And if somebody has a way to make money, they're not gonna give it to you for free. Like, which open another can of worms, which is like all those bullshit courses, drop shipping or pyramid scheme or whatever the fuck they are, where they tell you, oh, if you buy my course, you're gonna make so much money, or if you buy my course, you're gonna learn this, you're gonna learn that. Guess what? You know how I make money? Selling the course. I'm sorry I'm hicking up, but I ate like a pig because I train. Pretty much all the courses that teaches you how to make money, they're bullshit. Like, if nobody is gonna, who is reputable is gonna make a course where the premise is to make you a lot of money, because there are so many variables that is just BS. Like, somebody can teach you skills, and the skills don't courses for free online, like YouTube. Like, I met a guy yesterday that really intrigued me, or 2 days ago, that basically learned to box with YouTube just by watching videos and watching fights and watching all this stuff, and he literally learned that oh, I'm glad it's funny. I don't you know why people fall for these scams? No, I think that is a matter of being too hopeful. Like, the people who falls for scam, you make a good point, my friend. You say maybe older people. No, it is people who is more inclined to trust other people, and is people that, yes, you're right, is less savvy about technology. So they think that the person they're talking with is the person they think it is, but because they grew up in a world where there was the phone and that's it, right? But I'm gonna get also to that, because also phone now, it's not something you should believe, because you can clone somebody's voice, and if you get a random call from someone, always double check. Say, okay, if somebody's pressuring to do something, always hang up the phone and call back the person who you think you're talking with, because now they scam you by pretending to be, you know, your uncle, your daughter, your accountant, all this kind of stuff, because you can clone somebody's voice so easily, right? Yeah, people like to believe things, absolutely, because we all look for an easy way out. Guess what? There are no easy way outs, because that's how the world works. Like, you need to put the work, and nothing is certain, and it takes a very long time to get some skill or to make some money. So, pressure, and yes, they are really good at that. Like, it, and another thing I want to get to is how, unfortunately, you should never ever click a link, even in an email, or if somebody writes you on X. Just don't click the links. If they tell you, hey, why you don't check this website and blah blah blah, you know what you should do? You should Google the website, find the website, and go on your own and find the content that you're looking for on your own. Don't click the links, because it's incredibly easy to make a link look away, and it's not where you're going. They are stealing all your shit. So let's get to email. Email is it was an amazing protocol. Like the SMTP protocol, it was amazing, and it changed the world. It really changed the world. Now is trash, because the problem is that it's free to send an email. So you can have people sending thousands and thousands and thousands of email, hoping that one stick, and all they need to do is to make you think that you're looking at an email from, I don't know, a brand where you bought something from, your bank, your cousin, whoever, and they make you click something and you're fucked, and it takes 1 second. So never ever click shit on emails. And if you get an email and you're interested in something, double check who's you're getting it from. But guess what? They can also spoof that. So I heard of scams where they literally spoof Google server and they are able to make it appear as if you're getting an email from Google. So never ever trust an email. Always double check. You get an email and is interesting, check who you're getting from. That's the easiest scam. It's just like changing a letter in the email address of a person or of a brand. So you know, if you do business with Coinbase, it's gonna be support dash Coinbase instead of, I'm just saying a random shit now, instead of Coinbase.com, right? And guess what? They don't need to make something perfect, because they send millions of email and they just need a few person to click on that shit. Now, the other thing that they do very often, and that's the reason why I stopped picking up the phone for numbers that I don't know, they call you and they tell you, hey, I'm from the support department of Google, I'm the support department of your bank, I'm the support department of whatever, right? WhatsApp, Instagram, yeah. But even, you're right, email is more of a thing of the past, but a lot of people is on email. I still get a lot of emails of people telling me, hey, I'm from the support of your bank, on the support of Coinbase, or the worst and the most sneakiest, because they prey on people who needs money, are fake job interviews. Like at times I get emails where people knows, because you can tell a lot from social media. You can tell, you know, what you do, you can find cross-reference things, you can find where you live, you can find who you're related to, you can find what job you did, what you're interested in. So they tailor this communication for you, and they tell you, hey, we are hiring for a job in Web3, or we are hiring, yeah, everyone has an email, you're right. We are hiring for a job in video editing, because I also do video editing, right? And they're smart. Like, I make you an example of another scam that they were trying to pull on me. They open a LinkedIn account for this person that work at a very well-known production company for reality TV, right? And they literally input in all their information, like their education, where they studied, where they work, all this kind of shit. When are you going at vacation so somebody can rob you? Yes, it's true. We also do that. I remember when there was, what it was called, that app that you would share your check-in, what it was called. But also on social media, like I heard of a lot of people that post on social media that are on vacation and people goes and rob them. So it's very true what you say, my friend. Also people getting killed, like that rapper that they killed here in LA. I want to say Pop Smoke also got killed because he posted where he was, like his location, and they went to his house and they shot him. So if you're somebody who is in the eye, you shouldn't share that much information about yourself, and it's kind of crazy if you do, because you really put yourself and your loved one at risk. But yes, going back to the job interview, I was saying, they set up a LinkedIn, and they asked me a few questions like, oh, would you be interested in this job? And it was all very plausible, right? The thing that set off my alarm bells was that this person didn't have their LinkedIn profile verified. And if you're on LinkedIn, get your profile verified. It's for free. Like, you literally just need to upload your state ID. So like your driver's license or whatever, they have different forms of identification. And then you get a blue check mark next to their account. So I'm not saying that they wouldn't be able to spoof that as well, because they are smart as hell, but you have one more layer of knowing that you're talking with that person. But the typical technique of scammers, and like you brought up very smartly, my friend, is WhatsApp, because they try to move the conversation from a trusted source that is checked for this kind of things, like LinkedIn, and they tell you, oh, would you mind having a conversation with this person who works with us via WhatsApp, right? And it's demented. I really like this, Alfredo, like very amazing what you're saying. Because they're smart, so they're like, let's move the conversation to WhatsApp. Why? Because WhatsApp is like the land of no one. Like you could be talking with anyone and you can create a number very easily and it's impossible to trace you down. And the thing that they do when they realize that you're not falling for it is that they start pressuring you, like you were saying, Alfredo. Like they tell you, hey, this person wants to talk to you. Hey, this person wants to talk to you. Why you don't want this job? It will be perfect for you, blah, blah, blah. But you need to be strong. You need to be strong, and you need to understand that somebody is putting and dangling a carrot in front of your face, not to help you, but to fuck you. And is messed up, because when people look for a job, they need the money, right? So the last thing you need is for somebody to scam you. But this was very common, and it became even more common now because there is a lot of jobs that you can do remotely, right? So you can end up being on video interviews with people that at a certain point they're gonna ask you, hey, why, to proceed in the interview, please download this software or click on this thing. And if something like that happens, even if you got that far, don't feel ashamed to say fuck you. Maybe you don't have to say fuck you, but say, I'm sorry, I'm not comfortable doing this. And you don't do it, because if it's a legit opportunity, they're always gonna follow up through official channels. They're not gonna ask you to install an app. They're not gonna ask you to talk on a special app. They're not gonna do any of this shit. They're not gonna do it. They just don't. And I can tell you, because I work for every big company. Like I work for very big corporations. I came to LA because I was working with Netflix. Like even very advanced corporations, they don't have tools that they use that nobody else knows. I was thinking most scammers are not very good. In Germany, people used to call old people and say, oh, your son. Yes, they do that a lot. They do that a lot. But now, you know what's the scary thing, Alfredo, is that they can do it by pretending to be your nephew or your grandchild. Because let's say that some guy has videos on social media or his live streams like I'm doing, they can make a voice print, and you can literally have someone call you that sounds exactly, or even a video call that looks exactly like, you know, your brother or your mother, and says they are in trouble and this and that, and people freaks out. And you're right, especially if you're old, because they're not aware of all these things. And that's why I think we should talk about this stuff more. And I know that Twitch is not the best channel, because there is not a ton of old people beside me, I guess, on Twitch, but it's good to talk about it so that more people knows, and you know, they talk with their parents and they let them know. If you get a call like this, call back. Always call me directly. Say, take time, right? And even at Target, where I work, they train us that if we see someone purchasing a huge amount of gift cards and they're agitated, to tell them, hey, what's happening? Because it's a clear indication that something is happening that is a scam. I think the scam that you and I could fall must be good, could be around some Bitcoin stuff, but I don't think. Everybody can get scammed. That's the truth, my friend. But the point is, it's very hard to scam you if you're not greedy and you're not horny, because those are the two catalysts. Like if you don't click on links from random ladies on social media, and you don't fall for things that promise you to make money, the only thing that really can get you is social engineering. And social engineering means that you meet someone at a real event in the world, Oh yeah, greedy and horny, my friend. Like you you meet someone at a real event and they pretend to be your friend and they act normal and they act fine, and you start sending each other things or links of things to look at, and then suddenly they pull a fast one on you and they send you a link or they make you do something that fucks you up. And that can happen to everyone, unfortunately, because we are all inclined in looking for, you know, camaraderie, friendship, and trying to develop like you know, amplify your social circle, or something like the stuff also the stuff you say. But another thing about going back to the phone calls is like the best way to protect you is if you get a call from someone saying, oh, I'm your insurance, or I'm your medical office, or I'm your bank, I'm the support of Coinbase, or any website or service that you use, whether for crypto or anything, and they tell you, hey, you need to give us this information, and it's personal information, or you need to send us money, always say, I'm sorry, I can't talk right now, I'm gonna contact you through the official channel. And you literally go on the website of your bank, or the website or whatever the fuck it is they say they are, you look up the number and you call and you ask, is this true? And same also for job offers. If you get a job offer from an email that says that they're from a company, always verify with the company that is a real job offer, not that you're talking with some random person who's trying to scam you. A lot of people send that money, my friend, because otherwise they wouldn't do it. And the problem is that the cost of doing something like that is very little. It just takes a little bit of time, right? But also the other problem is this one, that now with AI you can sift through huge amount of information without spending much time, and you can craft personalized emails to scam people. Like you can really gauge people's interest, what they want, what they're looking for, their history, where they live, what they like, and you create emails that directly talk to that person. The technique that they had before is that they were aiming for stupid people. Like at times I heard that another technique that they have is that they use typos, and they use language that doesn't sound like a proper spoken language on purpose, so that they kind of weed out people who's not very bright and wouldn't fall for it. There is a cross, so I'm gonna do a sign of the cross. They weed out people who's not very bright by making these emails that sound like stupid. But there is people who still respond, and by responding they're like, okay, I can waste my time trying to scam this person because they're not very bright, or they're not very learned about technology or whatever. And I'm gonna tell you another one that happened to me, which is wild. Like somebody called my wife pretending to be our accountant, because my wife never spoke with our accountant, and they were trying together to give our social security numbers. Yesterday I was in a WhatsApp group full of bots. Oh yes, clicks, bots. Like that's the other wild thing, that I want to say half of the things that you see posted online, they are not from actual people. Yeah, they call me like I spoke with people before, and also in this specific case they called my wife. Bots are stupid, but you know what, they mostly inflame conversation. Like they are used to skew the discourse online. So let's say that there is a hot topic, political thing, they create more fighting in between people to amplify whatever is their goal. So let's say you are a political party and you want to rile people up against something, you leave these inflammatory comments on posts, and you start seeing all these people fighting and bickering. And what happens is that if you already had a position, you skew more towards their position, or vice versa. you get other people to respond and skew more on the other position. And the only person who gains from that are social media platforms, because overall what they thrive on is on people fighting, because the more engagement, the more stuff they have. Oh yeah, bots are insane. Bots are insane and they are incredibly believable. So another thing you should never do, don't waste your time replying to comments and fighting with people online, because it just leaves you feeling like shit, and there is no way to win in that, and you're literally talking with a robot. Because a lot of times when you see crazy comments on things, you click and you see somebody who doesn't have a photo, they have 0 posts, they have 5 friends. That's a bot. That's a bot, because you can literally program somebody to search for, somebody can program a bot to search for keywords and post a certain things based on the parameters you give it. And again, now with AI, you can craft on the go conversations and keep making more and more and steering more and more, because they just do it automatically. Is the easiest thing to do. So never lose time replying to comments. Like if you want to reply something positive and somebody writes something negative, who cares? But be positive, like the same way that you would be in the street. I feel like people now think that, oh, if it's online I can be an asshole. The only person that you're fucking over is yourself, because you ruin your day. You ruin your day by being a troll or by being an asshole. And I know that because I also used to do it. And the reason why I used to do it is because I wasn't happy about my life. Like I had to make changes about my life, and now I feel good and I don't feel the need to do that shit. So even that is like, you don't need to be snarky, you don't need to make fun of things or people. Like it's not funny. Like it might be funny to somebody who's dumb, but it actually just shows that you're a hurt person. That's what it does. And sorry, going back to the phone call, like this guy, it was a team of people. They called my wife saying that they were my accountant, and they knew the name of our accountant, they knew a few personal information. Why? Because those are all public records. You can see who is the accountant who filed your taxes, you can see certain things about your taxes, you can see where you live, you can see your age, you can see all this shit. And in my case, they knew that I'm from Italy, right? So they were trying, and I live in the United States, so they were trying to pressure my wife to send money, saying that there was some problem with the taxes and that I could risk getting deported and blah blah blah. So they, who can see this? Oh, a lot of people can see your information. You said you're in Germany, so I know privacy law in Europe are a little bit stricter, like even in Italy where I'm from, but there is a lot of public records and public information. If you have access to, government database, because somebody who works in the government is corrupted and gets money to pass information, it's very easy for your information to be around. Or maybe an old email account that you had, like when you were the first email account you open and you haven't been opening in, I don't know, 5 years, has been hacked and you don't even know it because all the information is around, right? It is safer in Europe. It is safer in Europe because there are more laws about privacy. But also is the case even there, because I follow the news and I see that the same thing happens also in Europe. And I think it is really a problem. And truth to the matter, the things to remember are: don't trust and don't pick up phone calls from random numbers. Don't trust and don't pick up phone calls. Don't respond to messages from numbers you don't know. Like sometimes you get messages like, "Oh, I had a very nice day today," or like something that typically you would reply to, "Hey, I'm sorry, but you sent the message to the wrong person." Don't do that. Don't do that, because they're gonna start asking, "Oh, so who are you? So who are you?" No, it's not like I don't like politics. I like politics, but I really want to keep things related to the scam right now. And I don't think it's about politics. Like, the scam in relation to politics are mostly the fact that every political party uses social media to polarize people. So it's true, like, and to be honest with you, the people who spend the most money doing this shit are the Democrats. Like the Trump movement is something that started more as a grassroots thing. Like the amount of indoctrination that goes on in media, at least in the United States, is mostly on the Democratic side, because they spend 10 times the amount of money and they have the total control of the biggest news organization like CNN, ABC, like CBS. All that shit is very, very skewed. And so you shouldn't get your information from the news. That's the bottom line, because one way or the other, if there is money behind something, somebody is putting that money there, right? You should find information by going online and cross-referencing things, talking with people. Like, try to get a sense of what the real world is, not what they're telling you. Like, even with COVID, I think it was a great wake-up call for people to don't necessarily trust everything they hear, because now that a few years passed, we saw that basically half of the things, if not more, of the things they were saying, they just didn't know. Like, they were trying, everybody, and I don't entirely think that they were set out to do bad, but I think nobody fucking knew, and they were all acting like they knew everything. So never trust news organizations. Like, I think that was a very big wake-up call. How long do you live in the States? I've been living in the States about 20 years now, and I really like it, to be honest with you. I lived in Italy for 24 years, and then I moved to the United States. And in the beginning, I came to study, and then I started working, and I was lucky that I got to do what I wanted to do, so to work in music, and I used to direct music videos. And I worked for a big rapper for 3 years. I worked for 50, doing music videos for his label, not necessarily for him, for all the artists on his label, and then doing his YouTube channel and whatnot. And then I started doing commercials for fashion brands, and branded content for different people, and among them I also work with CNN. So that's why I can tell you that is all bullshit, because like, when there are commercial breaks in between things, that is not something that is independent. Because if you just say whatever the fuck you want, companies wouldn't necessarily advertise with you. So the only place that is free is the internet, and even the internet is unfortunately highly censored in a lot of places. We saw it with COVID, where they would pull people off YouTube for saying things. And also, like, you need to look for people who has no monetary incentive to say things. Because if somebody has a shtick, or they have a sponsor, or they have this and that, they're not gonna say something that goes against that sponsor. Like, money is kind of like the root of all evil. Like, the same way that is the root of all scams, unfortunately money is the root of all evils. Because a lot of people who gain power, they just want to make more money. And if you want to make more money, you're going to end up not doing what is good for other people. Like, that's unfortunately the truth. Because you should know that, to be honest with you, like, I had moments in my time where I made a ton of money, and I had moments where I didn't make much money. And you know what I realized? That the thing that matters is having time to chill with your friends, finding time to make friends, being with your family, hanging out with my daughter, finding time to work out. Like, you can't think that your importance is tied to a number, and the more money you have, the better you are off. It's bullshit, because money can change from one day to the next. Yes, both sides are messed up, absolutely. Both sides are messed up, and you should always think with your head. Like, you should always think with your head, and don't just go with the flow. Like, I think that's another big problem that we have right now, that people just go with the flow of things. And I think, like, it's normal when we grow up to kind of want to be popular, especially if we were not. but you basically end up parroting what you think people want to hear, because you want people to like you, right? And who gives a shit? Who gives a shit? Like, now I'm old and I'm like, what's the point? Like, what you want to do is be yourself. So say things, even if you think it's gonna make you people like you, right? And to be honest with you, like in the last election, I voted for Trump for that reason, because I was fucking over all that Kamala bullshit and treating the other side like they're assholes and whatnot, and there is a polarization that goes on. Money gives safety, yes, but to, like, all you need really is to pay your rent and to pay your bills. Like, you don't need to go on vacation in a 5-star hotel or have a Ferrari or have a Lambo. Like, all that shit is bullshit. It really is, because if you have those amount of monies, like I have friends who have like net worth of like $50 million, and they're always working and they're always stressing and they don't really enjoy their life. Like, I think it is important to get to a point where you feel comfortable with what you have, and doesn't have to be much, because really what you need is to take care of yourself and your family. You don't need to impress people. You don't need to impress people, and the more you try to impress people, the more empty you're gonna feel. Like, the things that actually make you feel good are the things that you do for other people, in your family and around you. Like, if you can, make somebody's day better, that's gonna make you feel better. Like, if you can make somebody smile, you can feel better. But going back to the polarization, yes, hanging out with your friend. Oh, you're 40-year-old. Yeah, I'm 40-year-old too, my friend. I'm gonna be 41. But going back to the polarization, like the other day, I was helping a Target, and I was doing cashier because the person who was at the cash register went on his break, and I was checking out this guy, and this guy, we started talking because we are both without hair, so he made a funny joke that was like, oh, we have the same barber, right? Which was very funny. And then he started talking to me about like, how all the money on dollar bills, there are different presidents, right? And the only one who is in a dollar bill and is actually not a president is Benjamin Franklin, because Benjamin Franklin never was a president. And I was like, oh, I didn't know that. So I learned something from this dude. But you know why I'm saying this? Because he finished saying, oh, there is only one guy who I would never want to see on the money, but I would like to die, right? Because all the people who is on the money is dead, right? And then I was like, who? And he says Trump. And I was just like, you cannot, like, to me it's of bad taste to wish death upon someone, independently from the fact that he's a politician or is a soccer player or is a actor or your neighbor, right? You wouldn't go to your neighbor and tell, oh, I really wish that our other neighbor died. Like, it's fucked up. But somehow the Democrats may become acceptable to hate on the other side and wish death upon them. And to me is completely out of spec with what it means to be a good human being. Because if you're a good human being, you don't go around wishing death to people. Like, you just don't, because it's messed up, right? So I think that's where the Democrats lost the plot. And I'm gonna be very honest with you, I'm married to my wife and she's a Democrat and she voted for Kamala. It's not like I told her, oh, you're an idiot, you shouldn't vote for Kamala, blah, blah, blah. I respect that, right? I respect, yes, I'm glad you don't want your neighbor to die. I respect that she voted for who the fuck she wanted to vote. Then I think Kamala was a good choice? Absolutely not. But the reaction that I had to her voting for Kamala was very different from the reaction that she had because I voted for Trump. Like, she was basically acting I was stupid, right? And I think that's a problem right now in American society, that people think that like, Democrats think that if you don't think like them, you are ignorant, you're stupid, you're egoistic. But guess what? It's not true. We can have different opinions. Absolutely, that's what democracy should be. And I find interesting to talk with people. Then I get very thrown off when I hear things like that, like, oh, Trump should die, or if you vote for Trump, you're stupid. Like that made me want to vote for Trump, to be honest with you. And I think it's true of a lot of other people, and that's why Trump, I think, won. And now even with all the Tesla's bullshit, like if you drive around in LA and you go in front of a Tesla dealership, there is always like some middle-aged white liberal woman with nothing to do over there with a sign. And I'm like, dude, you want to be helpful? Go volunteer. Like I try to, I used to go every Sunday. Now I work here, so it's harder, and I go this Sunday, but I can go all the time. I do videos for them. Find an organization that you like and help people who needs help. Like, don't make up in your mind people who you think need help when they don't, because they really don't. People are rude. Yes, people are incredibly rude when it comes to election, but to be honest with you, it's mostly a democratic issue, because people who is Republican, they might think that you didn't make the best choice, but they're not gonna tell you, oh, you're a bad person, or you are retarded, right in a line in the supermarket, right? While this guy, who was maybe 60-year-old, didn't give a damn and basically wished death upon our president, that whether you like him or not, is still the president of the United States, because he thought that he was making a funny joke, right? And he thought that he was saying something that he's entitled to say and is okay to say. But it's not. Like, there is a common human decency that everybody should have. And unfortunately, we lost a lot of that, and it's kind of messed up. Like, I think like it's great to compete in the marketplace of ideas. It's great to have different opinions, and the most important thing is to listen to people who have different opinions from you, because that's how you learn. I honestly think that every country has some problem with their president, and guess what? Because presidents are human beings, and I think that if somebody even really care about politics, it's very hard for them to do fully the things they want to do, because there is a lot of pull and push and compromising, and so you have a vision of what you want to make, and to actually make something, you have to compromise that vision to get it through the interest and the private interest of so many groups of people that is pretty much impossible to fully do what you want and get things through. Because unless you live in a dictatorship, there is always the other side, right? And you need to negotiate with the other side, and you need to find a middle ground that works, and you need to find, yes, you're absolutely right. Trump might look like a bully, but is because he's a little bit of a troll. He likes to make jokes, and a lot of times these jokes, they might be inappropriate, but they're still very funny. And I think that that's what got him got him to win the first election. When he went to the debate with Hillary, and Hillary was saying, oh, you are a bad person because you don't pay your taxes. You're a bad person because you take tax breaks and all this stuff, right? You know what he said back? He said, yes, that's absolutely true. And I feel like everybody was like, oh shit. And he said, that's absolutely true. But guess what, Hillary? All the people who donate to your campaign also does the same shit. And the system is rigged. I'm gonna use the system to my advantage. And that was incredibly refreshing, for the simple fact that no politician ever admitted that everything is fucking rigged. And instead of saying, oh my God, yeah, this is so terrible, blah, 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 he said, you also are doing that. So you're as guilty as me of doing that. And I think being funny and making jokes in a political situation is incredibly innovative and incredibly nice. In Germany we were yes, but go and look at the Instagram profile of the White House right now, and they basically posting memes. They're posting memes, and they're doing something that has never been done before. And I think is incredibly interesting because we are starting to talk to people on a way that is not fake but is more real. Like, we make fun of things, we are not politically correct, and that is something that absolutely kills me. Like, I can't stand all this bullshit of politically correctness, like we have to be nice. No, we should make fun of each other. We should, like, when I'm at work, we make fun of each other and we laugh, and we are all from a different country, and it's funny and nobody gets offended. Like, people is not as stupid as I want to make them to be. Like, yeah, absolutely. Like, nobody's an alpha troll. Like, everybody can be made fun of, and they should. Like, I really like a community that I'm in, which is the Pepe community. If you go in my profile, you see I draw a lot of frogs and I go to all the events. Is because you find everything. You find from incredibly democratic people to Nazis to you find everything. And why? Because it's all people who doesn't give a fuck, and they are all respectful of the fact that you can say what you want and you should be able to say what you want, and is absolutely how it should be. Like, we should all make fun of each other, and I love when they make fun of me, and it kind of makes me feel part of a group. Like, the most powerful thing you can do in life is to make fun of your own self, because you're becoming immediately appealing. I make fun of my accent, I make fun of the fact that I'm Italian, I always say it's a me, it's a Mario, like all this kind of shit, and I don't get offended. I make the jokes myself, because if you make the jokes yourself, there is nothing that the other person can say to offend you. Nothing. Because you shouldn't be ashamed of who you are, and you shouldn't be thinking that everybody should speak the same language and talk the same way and say the same things. It's bullshit. Yes, you're right, we don't have to be all politically correct, and something that I really love about older generations is that they at times make fun of you to basically show that they care. Like, I remember my grandpa used to make jokes at me sometime because he cared, and they were like nice jokes, and he was making fun of me in a nice way, right? Because you're trying to make the other person grow or look at something differently, and I think we are losing that now. Like, I talk with very young people who are scared of saying anything, and I think that you grow up not really knowing who you are if you live that way. That seems so harsh. At times it's harsh, and you need to be harsh, like, especially if you are a politician, right? Because if you are nice to everyone, who you're really helping? Like, and ships people to forgotten islands. Yeah, that's a US thing. Like, we always had Guantanamo. Like, what it does is that is repatriating a lot of people to El Salvador, and I saw it with my own eyes because I live in LA. And one day I was here at Target, and we have a taco stand outside, and the ICE came and they arrested this guy and they brought him back to Mexico because he didn't have papers. Do I think that that's extreme? Absolutely yes. Like, I don't know if a guy had priors or not, but if the guy didn't have priors, then yes, it's kind of messed up that they're just deporting random people. It's kind of messed up. Because when they were pitching their campaign, they were saying, oh, we're going to deport criminals, we're going to deport people who rape, who robbed, and who's against that, right? We don't want to live around. But I mean, I honestly think we should deport anyone who is a piece of shit, because, like, ideally, then of course if somebody is a citizen, he has a right to be in the country even if they do something really wrong. But I've read about this stuff. I mean, now in LA they go outside department stores, or there is this place called Home Depot where they sell home stuff, like materials for construction. And if you go outside these stores, there is always a bunch of people from Latin America, like Mexican, Guatemalan and whatnot, that literally sit in the parking lot waiting for somebody to hire them for a day, right? There are let's say that you're a constructor and you're looking to build something. You go and you find 3-4 guys and you tell them, oh, I give you, I don't know, X amount of dollars to work for me for the day, And so these people sit there. And what they started doing is just going there and rounding people and arresting them. But I think that at times it's not with rhyme or reason, right? And that's the issue, because there should be a decision that is based on some prior crime that has been committed. And if that's the case, then honestly I don't have a problem against it, because I came to the United States and I busted my ass to stay here, and it was a lot of work, and I don't understand why somebody who just come and didn't do the proper route should get medical help or all of this when the American citizens are not getting it. Like, insurance is fucked up in the United States. Like, you have to pay a lot of money. They almost always deny it. Like, have you heard of that guy Luigi Mangione, that he shot the CEO of the health insurance company? Like, that's where people is at. Like, people is struggling to pay these huge medical bills and pay for their rent and pay for their bills. And on the other hand, they see people who comes here illegally and they get put in an hotel by the government with all expenses covered. They get medical treatments and they don't get the same treatment as citizens. So it's not fair, right? It's not fair, and it's because Democrats know that if people, most likely, if you give them all this shit for free, they're gonna vote for you when they become citizen. So they're basically buying a vote, and it's pretty messed up, pretty messed up. So again, you shouldn't just arrest random people, but also you should keep a check of who is here in the proper way and is here and is paying their taxes and is not a burden to everybody else. It's a very complicated issue. And then there is another issue, which is people who is born in the United States but has parents who came here illegally. And these people can be here, but if they leave the country, they cannot come back in. So basically they are prisoners of the United States, even if they can go around inside the border, right? But let's say that they want to go back to Mexico to see their grandpa who's dying, they can't. Because if they go out of the country, then they can't come back in. So who made that? The Democrats, because like the Democrats allow these people to stay and start families and stay here. And now the situation is fucked up. It's really fucked up. Yeah, the state should know who's here. I agree with you. But the problem is that for a very long time, and again, the problem in that, I believe, is in both sides, because cheap labor is at the root of that. Like, people liked having all these people that is undocumented and without papers because they could pay them nothing. They could pay them nothing. And that's the sad thing. Yes, some people run away from difficult situations. Yes, and I can tell you very honestly that if I wasn't starving, but I was traumatized by my family and I wanted to change and come to the United States, and I came. And I also understand other people who is in difficult situation and they want to leave their country and come here. Absolutely, but they should do it in the proper means. And from what I'm understanding, if we talk specifically of Mexico, the issue is that the cartels don't let them come legally even if they could. They want to make $7,000, $10,000 that they get to them to help them cross across the border illegally. And then these people have a choice. Either I stay here where it sucks, or I go illegally to the United States. Because if they don't go with the cartel, then the cartel is going to hurt their family at home, or it's going to find them here in the United States. So the problem that we should address is illegal immigration and the cartels that control illegal immigration. That's the real issue. Because if you just arrest random people in the street, who are you really helping? No one, right? Really no one. Oh, they're a huge problem. They're a huge problem. They're a huge problem, and I was watching a lot of videos from this guy Peter Santinello. You can find him on YouTube. He went all around the border cities in the United States and talked with a lot of people, and pretty much by talking with law enforcement, my understanding is the following. You could come legally and you would still get the same treatment, but the cartel doesn't let you do it because they want to make money off of these people. So first of all, they should address the issues with the cartel. That's what they should be happening. Oh my God, it's so late. In Europe, they also want to go to France or England. Yes, also in Italy we had a lot of problems. But let's keep the conversation going next time. I need to go clock in for work. It was very nice talking to you, Alfredo. Let's keep in touch. Follow. I'll talk to you next time. Ciao, ciao. Ciao, my friend.